Hi, and thank you for looking at this video in regards to my 1972 Oldsmobile 442W29 U-Code convertible. In this video, if you are an Olds guru or an Olds nut, you may disregard some of this stuff, and I may be preaching to the choir. But I just wanted to go through some of the 442 specifics. Even if you're not purchasing my car, if you're looking at some of the other cars that are on eBay, maybe this video will help you in your purchasing of a 442 convertible or something like that. Now, any General Motors 8-body for that matter. So let's start with what do we have for paperwork on this car. All right, in 1972, Oldsmobile went to a appearance package and handling package for the 442. The 442 option was not a performance package, so it did nothing for performance. It just made the car handle better and look cooler. But you could get a 442 with a 352 barrel, a 354 barrel, a 455 4-barrel, and then what's called a V-code 455 4-barrel, which is a little bit more power than, of course, your X-code W30. This car is a U-code, so this is a 455 car. What makes it exceptionally rare, and they only made the 442 package available with the Cutlass. Your car has to be a Cutlass Supreme for it to be a 442, so you can't just have a regular Cutlass and it be a 442. So in 1972, Oldsmobile made it very confusing for everyone. And I think that this is where a lot of value gets hit and a lot of misconceptions happen in discussing 1972 Oldsmobile 442s. So obviously in 1970 and 1971, when we're talking about this body style, our VIN number would start with 344, and that would indicate it was a real 442. Well, in 1972, you didn't have that. They basically all had their standard respective VINs for their Cutlass, Cutlass Supreme, Vista Cruiser, etc., so on and so forth. So, for instance, this would have a Cutlass Supreme VIN because essentially it started as a Cutlass Supreme. Not started as Cutlass Supreme, but it needed to be a Cutlass Supreme to be a 442. So, how do we tell a real 72 442? So, one of the ways we can do that would be with a window sticker, which we have here. So if we have a window sticker and the VIN corresponds, and it says, 442 appearance and handling package, it is a real 442. Secondly to that, these are what are called broadcast sheets. And this is a Lansing, Michigan built car, so it's actually very rare to have broadcast sheets with the car. And I've actually found two in this car, pretty interestingly enough. So what you want to look for is what's called in box number 12 would be W29. So W29 and then the first copy, W29, which would indicate that it has the 442 package. Now, as we go along and we try to decipher this build sheet, which I will actually do for you here. This has the sequence, of course, then your month, 05, which is May, then 02, which is May 2nd, and 34267, which is Cutlass Supreme convertible. And then from there we have our body number, 467055. Now that's not actually the VIN number, that corresponds to the Fisher body tag on the driver's side cowl. So that number needs to match that number in order for that plate to belong with this car. So in this case, we have two not build sheets, broadcast copies. And on this broadcast copy, we have a little bit more information. One would be the trim, which is 977, which in this case would be white. And then our lower body color, which is 75, which is Matador red. Top color, which is A, which is white top. And then our A51 denotates a bucket seat car. So from there, we know we've got, this here definitively does not tell us that we have a 455 442. It tells us we have a 442 that was red, white top, and white interior and bucket seats. So this is really all the broadcast sheet tells us. And of course, this number does correspond with the tag underneath the in the column. I actually will go over that tag and how to find the reproduction tags and things like that. So anyway, that's the build sheet. That's what that covers there. Yep. Broadcast sheet, not build sheet. This paper here, this discusses a seatbelt warning system. In January 1st, 1972, the United States government said that all vehicles have to have a seatbelt warning system. Now, there was a strike in 1972, and these 72 cars were actually not supposed to be. They were actually supposed to start the 73 model year, but that's getting off subject. Anyway, General Motors had to come up with a quick way to put a seatbelt warning system in their 72 cars until they figured out what was a better way to do it. So in this case, they actually have a seatbelt light on the dash, which connects to the seatbelt rollers inside, and as those roll, when you put the car in drive and you don't have your seatbelt on, it lights up and makes that awesome horn buzzer noise. So that's kind of cool. Most people take them off and think that they were supposed to be installed in the car from the factory, when in fact they were. All right, so we've gone through that. Now let's go through some other interesting stuff here. All right, Protecto Plate. So Protecto Plate is actually a warranty card issued by Oldsmobile, and what this did was, it was essentially a credit card. As you can see, you've got those recessed items there, and the Oldsmobile went to a plastic card. There were plastic cards in 70, 71, and 72. They don't tell us a whole lot of information. The car was actually purchased on May 12th of 1972. The VIN number of the car, which is right there, and then if you look at your fifth digit, you'll see the U. U means that this car came from the factory with a 455 4-barrel. And our broadcast sheet shows us that we have a 442. Some of the other things that we have here, this is actually a safety inspection and pre-delivery report for the car from Lloyd Ketchum Olds. It was actually in Independence, Missouri. That's actually, the car was a Missouri car its whole entire life. So that would be a pre-inspection sheet and has a VIN number on there and all that good stuff. So that's kind of cool, and had 11 miles on it at the time. And I'm sure there's a date on this, but yeah, 5/11/72. Okay. Moreover, on our Protecto Plate here, the Protecto Plate actually corresponds with your warranty card. So when you got your warranty card, this car came from Ketchum Oldsmobile, so it has the dealer number there. And you see that number right there at the top right-hand corner. It says 13496. That number needs to correspond with the number on the Protecto Plate. And this right here, it's Ron Medlin, who actually was the original owner of the car. He's actually still alive, quite a feisty old fella. But I can put you in touch with him if you actually want to. But then all that stuff kind of went together in your warranty folder there. This was actually kept aside from when the car was new. This is not a reproduction. This is talking about how to break in your new 442. So that's kind of cool. This car had a couple of renditions of the title, but all including the original owner's name when he got married, lien release, things like that. Here's actually the buyer's order for the car. That's actually quite interesting because on this buyer's order for the car, usually it states all the options here, and it doesn't, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. The car cost $4,235. Its lien holder was Blue Ridge Bank. Neat. We've got here the original registration for the car, and this was the license plate number. Kind of cool. Kills 442 or KIS 442, and it had those license plates on it up until about 5 years ago. So I have every registration for the car from 1972 onward, as well as every insurance card and a bunch of stuff. I've got all the original manuals. These are not reproductions or anything like that. I've got a whole folder full of stuff on this car. I've got a bunch more things for the car, but I think for all practical purposes, this video would be way too long. But there's a whole bunch of stuff with this car. So in any event, that's gonna be my first video going over some of the paperwork on the car. Next, I'm gonna put this stuff away. We're going to talk about the car. So see you soon.